Hello, let's take a look at this number sign. So we're having this issue where we're having the one or more passes discarded due to linking constraints, no passes to link, empty tool path. It looks like this might have been trying to reload two different passes. Yeah. Debug. Okay. So here's the sign. And these are going to be the two passes here that show discarded due to linking constraints with the warning triangles. Now let's take a close look at here. I noticed something in the... Yeah, it's hard to tell in this one. But, oh, here, this one all is generated now. Yeah, it's so hard to see in here. But you can see it comes down on the outside. It's cutting on the outside, the lead-ins. So let's go back. And this is another thing too I'm going to look at and change is the nozzle diameter and kerf width. I like to make the same. Okay, that's in the third menu. Yeah, we'll make a few changes in this menu. And thank you for this file. And Dawn was right. Click on the eyes and redo the toolpath. Yeah, it's sometimes hard to see the path. If you float your cursor over them or select it, they'll show, but otherwise, yeah, you definitely have to have your visibility highlighted. All right. Yeah, we must have developed that as tools before the update in last September. That's why that's in red. Okay, Fusion 360, let's open the file. Alright, this is the file here. So right now we have 4 different tool paths. So holes, but if we look at the mounting holes, you can see our lead in starts from here and rolls in, and then comes back on a lead out, and we're not going to want that. It's almost like it wants to cut on the center too. Yeah, it seems like it's trying to cut. No, it is cutting to one side. It's because that kerf width and the nozzle diameter are different, so it's looking weird on here. But the lead in is on the correct side on this one, and then we'll go to the third one, and again it's on the incorrect side. We'll go to the fourth one, and it's correct again. Let's see if we can look at a simulation of it. Why didn't I want to show those two layers in the simulation? Well, it kind of did. It just is such a small kerf width or something. Yeah, it did cut those paths. It's just such a small kerf width you can't see it. So there's 2 different tools being used here. So let's just take a look at what we got going on. Exit the simulation. Edit tool. So this is the one with the just about 3/16 nozzle diameter, and then a smaller kerf width. Over here it says 0.6, but that doesn't mean nothing. This isn't going to input anything to your post processor. This is the only one that's going to matter here. I'm not going to change anything yet. Let's just go through and look at some of the stuff first. Go into the inside and let's take a look at this tool. So this tool is going to be, it's still the same, but it's showing a lot thicker. Interesting. Okay, well that's interesting. Maybe they're cutting at two different selection points? No. Interesting. And then that appears to cut normal, the fourth path. Let's go in and look at the actual toolpath arrangements here. So we've selected all these individually, and they're on the outside, and we want them actually on the inside. So we're going to click these arrows here. Okay, I'm going to start modifying stuff. Alright. So you can see how, here, let's look at the next one. You can see how that arrow's on the outside. We want to click that arrow and have it on the inside. I think that's all of them. Yeah, let's see what else we have going on in here. Wire cutting to the left, good. You could always take the tolerance down. One, I don't think it would matter. You got pretty clean geometry here. Let's not complicate it. And I'm not going to mess with your OG settings up here, because I have a torch height control. So lead in, 0 degree radius, 90 degrees, 0 length with a little lead out, so there's not much going on there. And then a big pierce clearance. So we're going to get rid of this pierce clearance. We're just going to set it to 0, and we're going to go back to the lead in radius. And because we got have circles, let's try to do a lead in that's going to be nice for these. So I'm going to go like 0.05, and then I'll do 160 degrees. So let's just take a look at what this wants to do for us. Okay, let's get rid of the, oh yeah, the, seems like the prime weld always needs a little bit of a finishing overlap or a lead out. Okay, I'm going to go back in and edit that toolpath. Let's do a little bit of a modified lead out distance. Do 0 there too. Actually, I'm going to go finishing overlap instead. do a 30-second. Okay, let's hit that. I'm going to go a little bit closer to center, but I like the way that looks. Ideally, I would just generate it from the body, but I'm going to just go through here and alter settings. And I think it'll be telling. Okay, let's try the 6. It's too much. 5.5. And I wish there was some automatic stuff, and it's going to come. I have no doubt. Nope. The 5 was perfect. I had it right the first time. Alright, those have good cutting profiles. If you wanted to at this point, you could save those cutting profiles. Did I edit the tool yet? I'm going to go in and edit this tool now. So I'm just going to use one of these tools. I'm going to rename. Can I rename it? Of course I can. Here. I call it Tune Edit. We're going to go into Cutter and let's do a 0.05 curve. And we'll do that again. And holder, plasma head's fine, and cutting data. Even though this doesn't forward to anything, let's just fill it out earnestly. I'm taking some guesses, but machine uses feeds. Does. Okay, we'll accept this new tool. Yes, we are going to change it. Now everything wants to get changed because of that. Okay, and let's just reload everything here. I'll go through and apply that tool to everything now. Or it should. Come on. Yes. Usually it generates them all. I'm not sure why that's... Oh, there we go. Good. So, I mean, we could use your lead in and lead outs on that, but let's switch up that tool to the one I just built. Is this it? Here we might be able to reduce our tolerance, hit it with some smoothing. I'm going to do a lead out, little one now, just because it's a prime weld. Actually, I'll do a little finishing overlap instead of a lead out. I'll do that 3/16, or excuse me, 1/32. Let's just do a micro lead in radius. And a small lead in. Set the pierce clearance to 0. I don't like using 90 degrees, but let's go 60. Okay. Alright. Oh, look at that. It's only wanted to generate part of those paths for us, so that's inconvenient. Edit. I'm just going to try to reselect those. Must be some way those are selected as a chain or something like that. I'm going to go through and just manually select each one of these. At the end here, I'm just going to do it all at one time as well. Alright. Interesting. Edit. Well, that is odd, but I'm going to put a few lead-in positions. That might trigger it to create a path. Alright, let's see. How odd. There we go. Yeah, sometimes all you need to do is do a lead-in position and it'll wake up and realize it can start a path. Okay, that one doesn't look too bad. Let's move to this. So this one's still on the outside. Let's go into here and edit the tool first. No, we're not going to edit that tool, excuse me. Let's see what tool we're using first. Yeah. Okay, it's the right tool. And see how the arrow is on the outside. We're going to want to click that to make that on the inside. Just going to give it a small lead-in radius and lead-in distance like I did in the last one. Yeah, okay. Generated that. I'm going to get rid of the lead out and do a finishing overlap instead. Yeah, I didn't like that. See, I went to a discarded due to linking constraints, and you can see why, because this tab is called linking. So one of these constraints is just a little too big for it to want to do that. So let's shorten one of these up. Maybe that'll smarten up. Interesting. And sometimes you have to get a point there. I'm not sure why some of these get tricky, but it sure sucks when you get a few in a row. There. As soon as I put in a lead-in area, it triggered that. So that's great. And now let's look at this last one. Edit. We could go big here, it wouldn't matter. It's on the outside, there'll be lots of room. No, goofy lead out. Do that finishing overlap instead. And you can make these your defaults, so. So you can redo your defaults over here. Good, got that outside toolpath. Let's observe it cutting. I'm gonna click Setup For first, and then go to Simulate with Machine. I have Simulate with Machine, so that makes quite a big difference when you for what options you have. Okay, let's hit play here. So fast. And I did do the motions to cut it all, even though it made it so we couldn't see it, so. Got some bizarre height thing. Let's try it again. Slow that down a bit. See, it's cutting that. It totally ran that path. It just didn't visualize it. So I think it's fine. Same with this one. It totally ran that path but didn't visualize it. And same with the outside one. Interesting. I wonder why it decided to do that. Huh. Anyhow, let's I want to try this again. So good, that would all work, it looks like to me. Let's turn the visibility on to all these paths, and it looks like all the data we need is there to cut that. But let's, under setup, I'm going to start another setup, new setup. I'm going to use the body. I'm going to put my stock box point to this corner. I'm going to put a little extra. I'm going to go to relative box size. I'm going to put a 1/4 inch extra around. I'm going to call this 40710 because then it'll show up as our NC file later, which is nice. The name of the file. You can rename it anything you want. So we're going to go into here, and I'm going to rename the setup as tin setup. Okay, I'm going to close the visibility off of this stuff because I don't need it right now. Now we're working with this in this setup. You can see it's activated by this black dot highlighted. This is origin here. You could, wow. What origin is this? Interesting. It says origin's already not visible. Okay, well, anyhow, I'm going to edit that just to make sure, yeah, mine's in the right corner. Let's go cutting profile. We're going to select that tin edit tool. And when we go into the geometry tab, I'm just going to select the whole body. I'm going to go finishing overlap of a 30-second. I will do tolerance and smoothing here, even though it won't play in a lot of the areas of this model. Yeah, I wonder if I could get in with the whole geometry for all of them. Let's try it. Okay. Yeah, generated everything but the holes, which, yeah, isn't surprised. Oh, pierce clearance. Dun, da, da, da. No, it's our, oh, this big lead-in distance of 0. Yeah, it's looking a lot better. Okay, generated everything that time. And we could probably go a little less on that. Those holes, edit. Let's do 0.45 instead. Ooh, even less. Edit. There we go. And let's go into the simulation. And slow that down. There we go. There's another way we could do a toolpath off that. Let's do another setup. So I'm going to click setups here, and then I'm going to click setup. I'm going to create a third setup. And this time, instead of using the model, let's see if I can find and use the sketch. There's sketch 1. Root cam, depending on how that sketch looks. Yeah, here it is. There's the sketch. And instead of proceeding setup, I'm going to go relative box size. Sketch. Oh, maybe I can't just do sketch on this one. Oh, there's 2 sketches, that's why. I see. It's duplicated. Here, let me go back to design. Oh, I see. There's 2 sketches. I'm going to just create a new sketch so I can have a sketch just on one sketch on one layer by itself. And you don't have to do this with this one, it's just one sec. Oh, it's not going to let me. I guess I will have to just project it to one layer. I wonder if I could just delete one of those 2. No, I'm already into it now. This is just an example how you can just do it with a sketch by itself. And it's a pretty functional way of going about it. You wouldn't have to do this because it would, yeah, you would maybe just have one of these in the drawing. It's the only reason why I'm going through the effort of splitting it up, so I have just one in one drawing. So if I erase it, I don't know how it's attached or mirrored. It might just erase what we got going on. Alright. Okay, finish sketch. Let's go into design. Manufacturing. Let's go back and make that new setup. And this time we're going to use that sketch we just made. Relative box size. There we go. Whew, I thought it was going to make a liar out of me. Okay, perfect. I just do it the material thickness. I'm not sure what thickness you're making it, but you're going 50 inches per minute, so it must be thick. Okay, that's the model. And I'm just going to put setup sketch. Going to call this from sketch so we can see the differences. Now let's go back to cutting. Use that same cutting tool, or just make sure it's selected. Yep, it is. And this time we're going to go over and just select sketch 3. It selects all these items. Perfect. We're going to apply our tolerance and smoothing to it, a little bit of finishing overlap. Do that lead in radius again. All right. Oh, 160. And that has appeared to, oh, it's on the outside a few places. Well, that's not all good. So we'll go back in here and see if we can find that issue, which is probably under geometry. We'll go to edit and we will go start inside. Okay. And let's see if that changes its mind at all. There we go. Oh, it doesn't like that outside loop though, eh? It's because it's not complete. And yeah, totally. Right here, that loop has a break in it. Ha! Alright, that's it. That's why it's incomplete. Let's go back into design and we'll just fix that quick. Oh, where was that even? It's so micro. Right there. Huh. Well, isn't that something weird? Oh, that's on the wrong side, that's why. Interesting. It's so odd that it doesn't want to generate on the correct side of the line right there. So there must be a little break or something right there that's causing it to glitch out. Isn't that weird? It's almost like it has two cutting paths on the outside. Anyways, I'm going to select those separately. Because that is not functioning correctly. Yeah, it's weird that outside one does not want to show up as... Isn't that odd? Yogi. Yeah, I got something going on with that outer loop. Let's see what's going on with it. Anyways, the bulk of it was earlier with just going through those menus. I'm just wondering why the sketch thing isn't working out for me now. Probably because I'm in the middle of a double live stream video. Yeah, I find that really odd. I've had that work on some of the most sketchy drawings, so I'm not sure why this all of a sudden wants to be lame. This one. Well, I know exactly why it wants to be. It's because I'm trying to do this live stream right now. Ah, it's because there's a friggin' overlap right there. Right there. Oh, you're gonna let me trim it? Sometimes this program gets weird. And about little things like that. Right there. Okay. Delete. Let's see if we can trim this. Let's move this. Make a point. Thank you. Let's see if we can do some oh no, like that. Sure, finish sketch. Let's go back to manufacture and let's see if we can make that silly thing work now. Edit. Look at that, it worked. Okay, it was that overlap. It didn't know where to stop and start. Alright, so there's another one made with a sketch profile. So let's, missing one hole though? Nope. Let's simulate it. Simulate it here. Alright, that one looks good too. I'm going to save this as an F3D and post it back onto the forum. Have a good night.